of a child that attends school. Maybe they aren't your own kids. Maybe they're nieces or nephews, grandchildren, siblings, maybe even the child of a close friend. Either way, we want to know that these children are safe. We want to rest easy knowing that the teachers are doing everything within their power to guarantee that these children make it home safely. It's hard to judge whether or not children are safe when media can misconstrue a lot of information. Currently, in politics, there has been a lot of discussion on the topic of seclusion and restraint. These discussions mainly circle around students in special education, but have recently begun to branch out to all students. I am currently employed by my local school district as a special education aide and have seen these changes take place firsthand. Today we will discuss the topic of seclusion and restraint, how it is currently being used in schools, and the changes that are being made to help better the policies behind it. First, let's look at the restrictions that are put on using seclusion and restraint in schools as of right now. According to the Restraint and Seclusion Resource Document from the Department of Education, restraint and seclusion should not be used as routine school safety measures. They should only be implemented in situations where a child's behavior poses imminent danger of serious physical harm or to self or to others. This is basically saying that unless the child is in danger to themselves or to others, all behaviors should be dealt with in an hands-off manner. In December of 2016, the Office of Civil Rights published several reports describing the best practices for using seclusion and restraint. These practices stated that seclusion and restraint should be used strictly as a last resort. They should also be only carried out by trained staff members. I have been given proper training supplied through my school district. This training involved several simulations, and let's just say our instructor didn't pull any punches, literally. Even though we are trained on how and when to properly carry out seclusion and restraint, it is only used as an absolute last resort. Many people are quick to turn to the media to point out instances where children have been seriously injured or even died from a seclusion and restraint. This is usually when I pull out a story from my big bag of stories to help shed some light on the subject. There was a time when the child I was assisting escalated beyond my control. I called administration for help while the teacher started moving the rest of the class to a safe place in the classroom. Administration and I were in the room also protecting the students and helping to de-escalate the student that was having the behaviors. He was flipping desks, throwing chairs, and pounding on the window of the classroom. He ended up breaking a door and almost breaking a window before we were able to safely remove him from the classroom. Throughout this entire escalation, we could not restrain or seclude the child without the fear of a lawsuit. Seclusion and restraint is an absolute last resort. That shouldn't take away from the fact that there are school districts that misuse seclusion and restraint. A headline in an Austin, Texas newspaper stated that a 14-year-old boy died after being restrained in a classroom. The autopsy revealed that he succumbed to extreme pressure on his chest. This does not follow proper restraint guidelines. A Connecticut newspaper reported that 142 restraint-related deaths occurred over a 10-year period in the United States. These reports of misconduct have reached all the way to Capitol Hill, where changes are being made. According to an article in Education Week published in November of 2018, Democrats on Capitol Hill are hoping to ban the practice of secluding children and further restrict the use of restraints in schools. This has resulted in the Keeping All Students Safe Act. This act would require schools to notify parents within 24 hours of their child being restrained. This act will also prohibit the use of mechanical restraints on children. This includes the use of handcuffs. Chris Murphy, the Senator of Connecticut, published a fact sheet on the bill simplifying the information. He also states in the fact sheet that at least 11 states have no policy protecting students from seclusion and restraint, helping further the necessity of his bill. He also states that this bill will help further equip school staff members with the training needed for dealing with challenging behaviors. This topic may seem like one that you can easily push aside, but we all know at least one child that attends a federally funded school. Reports have shown that there is a need for change in the Board of Education's policies revolving around seclusion and restraint. Thankfully, the Senate has answered that call and is currently taking the actions needed to make this change. At the school that I work at, we are constantly reviewing how to properly deal with behaviors that benefit students, because at the end of the day, we want to know that this next generation is safe. I hope you all have gained a better understanding of what is going on in schools, as well as the changes that are being made to help make them even safer than they already are. Thank you.